Hi everyone, my name is Taherah and today is Tuesday, which means it's time to discuss our book of the week, which is Hexed by Emily McIntire. First, this is a spoiler-free section, so if you haven't read this book yet, don't worry about it. It won't be spoiled for you here. There will be some spoiler-related things that I want to discuss, but that'll be later on in the video, and you will get plenty of warning. If you'd like to join in on any of the book discussions, send me your thoughts, comments, or even a short video clip of you discussing the book, then I'll list the next upcoming 4 books in the description below. So I suck at planning for and knowing when books are coming out. I'm just terrible at it. So typical really that when this book originally came out, I had no clue that Emily had even written another one. It was actually because The Works posted that they had this beautiful sprayed edge version that I even knew it had come out, and I showed my husband and said how beautiful the sprayed edge version was, and he actually went out that morning and picked it up for me, which was adorably sweet. The book is stunning, and so are the sprayed edges, but more importantly, how was the inside? I rated this book 4 stars. I had a couple of minor issues here and there, but overall I really enjoyed it. So, a typical Emily McIntire book. It was a strong FMC, a great MMC, and the spice was spicy. I mean, did the book need to be as long as it was? Probably not, but I was there for the ride anyway. And for anyone who might be wondering, yes, this is a part of a series, however, you don't really need to read any of the other ones in order to read this one. I wouldn't even say that you need to read them in any particular order. They're all very different. Okay, so quick summary. He is the prince of La Costa Nostra, and she is the witch who steals his heart. Vanessa has never been good. She wasn't good enough for her parents, and she's not good enough for her gangster uncle, who took her in after they died. But she's cunning, beautiful, and is dutiful to her uncle's demands. She's not got time for a moral compass anyway. When her runaway cousin returns home, she brings a man with her, and Vanessa soon realises that he's the only person who has ever seen her for her. There's just one problem. She can never have him. Enzo is a wealthy businessman by day and prince of the underworld by night. Underboss to a notorious mafia syndicate, he answers to no one except his dad. So when he's tasked with marriage, he doesn't think twice. That is until he meets his fiance's cousin. Vanessa is everything he never knew he wanted. When plans unravel and temptation sings its siren song, they both have to decide what's more important. Their duty to their families, or this forbidden love that was never supposed to be. If I had to compare this to any other book, I would obviously say Hooked by the same author or Alice by Christina Henry, although I would say that this one is considerably less suitable for a younger audience. I don't really read that many retellings, but I do have to say that I love the way that Emily incorporates these loved and familiar elements from classic stories and twists them into something completely different, and this one was no exception. There were so many different elements that linked to The Little Mermaid, which was a story that I absolutely adored growing up. Like, pretty much every character and backstory had a link, and I think that she just has such an interesting way of interpreting and then including these elements, while still making it feel like totally different characters and stories. I might have said this about Hooked, but arguably these books could easily be standalones, completely separate from any of the story tales or whatever, but I do think that it's a nice little twist. Sometimes I completely forgot that this was meant to be like a retelling, and then something new would happen or something would pop up, and I got that excited moment where I could draw that familiar connection. But then again, that might also be because it's not really a retelling, it's more like a romance book with Easter eggs sort of scattered throughout. Hexed was quite spicy, but I wouldn't say that it was too spicy. Like, I feel like I remember Hooked being way spicier, but that might be because it was a while ago that I read that, and my mind might be remembering the tension and is sort of associating it with spice, if that makes sense. The characters were fun, the story was fun, and the Easter egg part was also really fun. Overall, I just really enjoyed it. My minor issues with it were just that, minor. Did it need to be as long as it was? Probably not. It was quite predictable at times, but it was an enjoyable read. So as for the question, would I recommend the book? Absolutely, to the right person. Like, if someone wanted to read like a dark romance or a mafia romance and wanted to dip their toes into something a little less extreme to begin with, then absolutely. I will also say, and I don't believe that this is a spoiler, but in true Little Mermaid fashion, it definitely steers more towards that insta-love rather than any sort of slow burn, so it also depends on what kind of romance you're into. So will I be reading any more by Emily McIntire? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't even read all of the books in this series yet. I've definitely been swayed more towards some than others, but I do eventually plan on making my way through all of them. So earlier on in the video, I said that you would get plenty of warning for any upcoming spoilers. This is that moment, so if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going doing that first, because beyond this point, there'll definitely be spoilers. I feel like I don't have a ton more to say on this book. I mean, I liked the characters, the story, and the Easter eggs, even the pacing, despite me saying that the book didn't need to be as long as it was. I mean, considering I love a good enemies to lovers, this insta-love kind of thing isn't really my favourite. It is a bit shallow and superficial, which isn't always a terrible thing in books, but being instantly attracted to someone on little to no information, despite having a fiancé, and then finding out that that's your fiance's cousin. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm on their team, but I can kind of see why Ariel was pissed. Also, Ariel was a grade A arsehole. I feel like half the terrible things she did to Vanessa was just sort of glossed over. The main character unalives people for a living, and A hasn't unalived Ariel for everything she did, but also B, she just kind of accepts being treated like crap from pretty much everyone else. I mean, I always love a good, strong, independent woman who also has her issues, but still. In the book world, and in this world where this woman is pretty much an assassin for the Mafia, she would have been in her rights to unalive most of these people before we even got most of the twists. Anyhow, I guess it was kind of unrealistic and predictable, but that isn't always a bad thing. As I said, it was a fun read, I enjoyed it, and I was there for the ride. It wasn't my favourite romance of the year, but I don't regret my 4 stars. Let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Next week, we're discussing The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, so don't forget to get your thoughts and comments in by Sunday the 20th of July at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram or Discord. The following week will be Love on the Brain, but don't forget, if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose the genre that best suits you and the best time frame to read it in. Thank you all for joining, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, it's always appreciated, and I will see you next week. Bye! If you like romance, fantasy, or even thriller, basically anything fiction book related, then I suggest you head on over to the channel's intro video, where you can find out more information on how you can take part in this online book club. We announce books at least 4 weeks in advance, and we accept your bookish feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send in a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you can just send me a direct message.